2024 fiscal year.
This new deficit forecast is $400 billion higher than the CBO's previous estimate in February.
Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have signed a partnership agreement in Pyongyang, furthering their strategic cooperation against Western leaders.
The agreement includes a pact for mutual help.
A cargo ship sank in the Red Sea following an attack by Yemen's Houthi rebels.
The UK military's Maritime Trade Operations Centre issued a notice to sailors in the area. According to the Associated Press, one mariner on board was believed to have died.
The White House has condemned China over what the Philippines described as an intentional high-speed ramming by the Chinese Coast Guard.
We're deeply concerned about the injuries suffered by the Philippine sailor and wish him a swift recovery.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are...
Here, please.
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, I'm gonna make you laugh, am I? No, you're gonna make me laugh. Or not. Not, probably more not. So, all right, we're saying goodbye to the band. The band's last day, officially the band has been fired from the show. And we're playing too long, just playing too long. Good morning, folks. It's Friday. Happy Friday, end of the week. We kind of almost made it through a week. A couple more hours, and we'll be like, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha. Let the games begin. Summer is here. Today is the first full day of summer. Full moon tonight. Party. Let the games begin. And it's all about me and playing music. I don't care about anything else. That's all I care about. The beach, music, the full moon. Hopefully some young girl whip out her titties at the band. That's what I care about. Anyway, it's Friday. What the hell day is it? Friday, June 21st, 2024. And I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. News is just depressing as hell. Here's the thing. The Supreme Court today is expected to possibly render a couple of decisions that might cause a lot of, every time they do, every time they open their dopey mouths now, they cause a lot of ruckus. I don't want any ruckus on days when I'm playing at the beach. It's all about me. Again, it's all about me. And the last thing I need is a bunch of angry Trumpers in the crowd just losing their minds if a decision doesn't go one way, or just high-fiving each other and sucking each other off if the decision goes the other way. I'm talking about the immunity decision, first and foremost. You know what? I'm no Kreskin. I wanted to be Kreskin once, but I'm not Kreskin. So I can't tell you what they're going to decide. But knowing this court and where their obvious bias is, no, I'm not expecting good things. If you wanted to say, damn, he looks like one sloppy ass dog today, I'm just wearing a t-shirt. It's casual Friday. It's too hot to put on a collared shirt today. Deal with it. That's all I'm saying. Just deal with it. Yeah, so we have a band called Flow Tone from Chicago coming on in the second hour today. I don't know, alternative rock. We'll talk to them and see what they're why are they coming here? I mean, I welcome them here, but what can I do for them? They are according to the limited research I do. I don't do a lot of homework. According to the limited research I do, they've been together, or they've been, I don't know, producing stuff for about 6 years. They have a single that came out, I want to say 6 months ago, with a video on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's 3 guys, 6 guys, 5 guys, 4 guys. I think the core of the band is 3 guys, but sometimes they add. But we'll see what we can do for them. In the meantime, it's all about me. I'm playing with the Rocket 45 tonight. 4 guys. 4 guys. The chick who used to sing with the band wants back in. But I think Mikey has finally got to the point where he, I don't know, might have grown a testicle. That's all I'm saying. He might have grown a testicle, and I don't know, put his foot down. I don't know drew a line in the sand. No chicks in the band, which I've been saying since 2001 when we started this crazy thing. Is no chicks in the band. No chicks in the band. Women weaken legs, but they also make band members all want to fuck the girl singer, and then they fight over it. So that's why I've always had a rule: no chicks in the band. And Mikey's gone against that a couple of times. Got a little soft. What can I say? Not that he wanted to fuck the chick in the band, and I definitely never did. But it has reared its ugly head. We had to get rid of one bass player who wanted to fuck the chick in the band. Oh, speaking of chicks in the band, Ron's here.
Yeah, I am.
You just had something to add, or no?
No.
And why didn't I change that background? That's the early background. Anyway, well, Ron's here. Might as well let the other mooks in the room. Look at that. Call them mooks. Hey, that's almost the right setting. Good morning, dudes.
Kill Wool, please.
Morning.
Wow, that's very, very loud of you. GD, we caught GD by surprise with his pants down, and literally with his pants down.
I love it.
Good morning, America. It's hot out there, so stay hydrated with hydration paraphernalia from MindDogTV.com. MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering.
MindDogTV.com. Always down, never up.
Enjoy the suffering.
It's down right now at the moment, and I just spoke to the guys in Vietnam, like, what the fuck, man? That's what I said. What the fuck, man? And they will write back, I appreciate your frustration. We will get it fixed by Wednesday, which was 2 days ago. Well, now we're moving to next Wednesday. It's always a Wednesday. And that's not how they talk in Vietnam. I don't know why.
I say we reinvade Vietnam.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do a Vietnam accent, even though I've had plenty of experience with Vietnamese people. What is it, Palm Sunday again? What?
That's not a Vietnamese holiday.
No. You have to learn. You should learn to manipulate your camera without this.
No, I know how to do it without doing that.
Oh. Okay.
You should see the other appendage I was going to do with it. I was going to. That was good.
Now,
but
you and Ron.
That's not 10:45.
You and Ron are very educated men. Now, I'm sorry, Steve. I don't mean to diss you by saying you're not educated.
But that's what he's saying.
No,
well, I can't argue with the combined 900 years of life experience. Go on.
You're also not good at math, but you guys know about this whole petrodollar thing with Saudi Arabia. Is it real or is it not real? Can you explain it? Do you know anything about it? Look from the look on GD's face. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Do you know about it at all? Can you clue me in?
I was getting bits and pieces of it, but I didn't get a chance to research it. That's why I'm staring at you. I was wondering where you were going with it.
Well, I don't know where I'm going with it. That's why I'm asking, because my wife brought it up a couple of nights ago. We were at the track about the petrodollar deal with OPEC collapsing. And then this morning there's a CBS News report. Hey, guess what? Saudi Arabia was involved in 9/11. Like, duh. I've been saying that for 23 years now. But then the people, coincidence, the petrodollar deal collapsed just a week ago, and now the U.S. is just like trying to get back at Saudi Arabia, tit for tat. And then I looked up the petrodollar thing, and I'm seeing there's no credible news sources talking about it at all. And and some people saying that it's a hoax, it's fake news, that the petrodollar, there never was a petrodollar deal, it didn't come to an end, it's all fake news. But none of the reports at all about like a reputable news agency. So I'm confused. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we talking about something
that may not even exist?
Something? Huh? What?
Something that may never even have existed to begin with. Who knows?
Well, and then the thing about, because they have this Saudi Arabian intelligence guy in 1999 doing a surveillance expose of the capital and doing, all mapping out the entrances to the capital, things like that, for Saudi Arabian intelligence. And why that report comes out now, it's all really curious. It's something for Alex Jones to weigh in on, I guess. But I'm curious, and you guys.
Well, MSN reported that the deal expired. It was a 50-year deal, and so they reported that it expired. Yeah, that it expired. It was a 50-year deal. It was one of those things that had to be re-ratified, I suppose. You know how they put time limits on things, like the Trump tax cuts expire next year. Same things.
Saudi Arabia is not ending selling oil to the United States.
No, the thing is, they were pricing their oil. The agreement was that they would price their oil in dollars, right. And any overage they would, I think, it would be converted. It would be sold or we would get them. It would be applied to U.S. Treasury bonds or something like that. For any surplus, would be converted to U.S. Treasury bonds as opposed to U.S. dollars, and then and the U.S. in return would provide military support to Saudi Arabia.
See, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like Saudi Arabia. I feel like, and this is not a political thing, Republican, Democrat, because I feel like both sides of the United States government, both parties, continue this really weird, I guess, our drug dealer. We don't want to piss off our drug dealer, this relationship with Saudi Arabia. But I think, in my view, I think they're the problem. If I had to one problem in the world, Saudi Arabia is it. I can't wrap my head around all this different why 19 Saudis flying planes or accused of being the actual hijackers, or Bin Laden being a Saudi, or how could they escape any scrutiny for all this time? And now CBS is saying, oh yeah, they were behind it.
We're in a domestic violence relationship with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
All they do is beat on us, hit us, abuse us, terrorize us, and then we're like, keep the oil based on my dollar, please. And they're like, fuck you, So yeah, we're like,
well, I mean, we always do that shit, though. I mean, in the 70s, we were funding money to Bin Laden to fight the Russians. Then in the 80s, we left them hanging high and dry. Then that leads us.
I think your timeline's off there. The 80s, Bin Laden was fighting the Russians.
Well, no, it was late 70s, 80s. It's all the same decade, essentially.
1980, Russia invaded Afghanistan. I was there.
Yeah.
I was in the Russian army at the time.
Yeah, but that conflict. Yeah, but that conflict stretches back to the 70s, maybe even a little further.
All right.
Back when the world was still black and white.
So it's just I'm concerned here. I'm concerned what that could mean in terms of gas prices are high enough, and
are they? No.
Yes, they are. They're high enough. They're not $13.
For who?
Right.
For who? According to ExxonMobil and the like, it's not high enough. That's why they keep sticking it to us.
Right. Yeah, but for me, it's plenty high.
Oh yeah, to us it's way too high. Yeah, for us.
Did you miss the opening memo? It's all about me. I don't even care about you.
Oh, I thought you said me. I thought you said me. Yeah, that's what I thought you said me.
Me.
Yeah, me.
Me.
Not
you.
Great. These old guys are stuck,
not you.
stuck in a rotating battle of me.
Right.
There's like a Me Too movement in here for a second. All right, go on.
Yeah.
Well, there were two of us yelling me. I think that's how the Me Too movement works.
Me too.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned from this whole totally transitioning here, this whole Louis C.K. thing.
You're transitioning.
I got a new thing.
Thank you for announcing it on the show.
Yeah.
The news break, because you could have done it on stage with the Rockin' 45s, but you chose to break the news with us.
I don't talk much with the Rockin' 45s. I do a lot of talking when I'm by myself or with Matt and the Manatees. With the 45s, I pretty much just play music. Just music. Don't talk. But I got a new thing. A new philosophy.
That's what transitioning does. You get a new thing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Based on the conversations I've had online and offline about this whole Louis C.K. thing, I've come to the conclusion that we are capable of forgiving people we want to forgive, and we're also capable of withholding forgiveness from anybody we don't want to forgive. In other words, if you didn't like Louis C.K. to begin with, the fact that he jerked off in front of women is the worst fucking crime against humanity that anybody's ever done, and no way I will ever see any good in that creep. But if you're like a Jack Nicholson fan and you know he raped 13-year-old girls on drugs in his house, but I'm a fan of his, I can forgive that.
Now, have we crossed the line?
Yeah,
I don't think so, no.
I think we have, but
see, that's where
I'm just surprised it took you 64, almost 65 years to realize that.
Well, it's the fact that because I'm getting a lot of people telling me like I'm a bad guy for even suggesting that I could laugh at Louis C.K.'s stuff. And these are people who I know watch Jack Nicholson movies.
Well, not everybody who saw his stuff laughed. Some people looked at his stuff and thought this was.
If you don't like it because he's not funny, that's fine. I'm
talking about his stuff, and you're talking about his jokes.
Well, here's the thing with the Louis C.K. thing, and I know this is old shit, but it came back this week. It was in his mind, and I don't think anybody denies this, even the women who he jerked off in front of. In his mind, it was consensual because he asked and they said yes. So in his mind, he really thought it was consensual. Now they'll say it wasn't because of the power dynamic that they worked for him, or he could hurt their careers or help their careers. So they're saying it wasn't consensual, even though they said yes. There's a problem with that though. No means no. Yes can also mean no. We can't get to a point where if you say yes, that also means no, because then every guy is guilty of rape ever. Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to be, a fucking mind reader? If you say yes, we have to assume.
There's got to be a point where, that's not good.
But I think that goes back to the Supreme Court case of husband versus wife, where the husband says, "What do you want for your birthday?" The wife says nothing. He gets her nothing, and then she gets upset, and then she gets the house and the kids and the car and the dog. It's a Supreme Court precedent. So you have to be not a mind reader, but you have to be able to interpolate what they're saying.
I always thought that was your mouth, but it turns out you're actually talking out of your ass.
I thought you knew this was all the shit he talked.
Yeah. So but you know what? for years and years and years after Gary Glitter went to prison for raping children, every stadium, every sporting event in America played Rock and Roll Part 2.
That was their compromise. They were not going to play Part 1. They said, look, this is our compromise. We're not going to get rid of all the glitter, but we'll get rid of Part 1. We'll just play Part 2. And that was their Solomon moment. They split the baby.
What does Part 1 and Part 2 have to do with that? Any of it?
You just said they play Part 2.
That's the name of the song, Part 2.
I know. You don't play Part
1. Was not played at the stadium. There is a Part 1.
Right. They don't play that one. I'm agreeing with you. I'm explaining why.
But it has nothing to do with any of it. You're agreeing with
me
about
it
doesn't matter to anybody. The point is that a pedophile was his music was being played for all of them. They celebrated it, and now the reason that they patronized it, and the reason that they say Leo C.K. is because he's alive. We can't patronize anybody who's alive who's been accused of any of this stuff. It's hypocrisy. That's the plan. It doesn't matter if it's Part 1 or Part 2 or Part 9.
I was explaining why.
Punch yourself in the face now. I'm waiting. You're all waiting.
Well, if I'm talking out my ass, my face is somewhere else. So
punch it.
You don't see my hands. You don't see my hands
punching. Punch away.
I am.
Do you guys need some applesauce? You guys seem really grumpy this morning.
Anyway, so the people who I've come to this conclusion that the people who just are like angry at me for liking Louis C.K. didn't like him before he was accused of any of this stuff. They just didn't like the guy. And that's fine. You could just say, I don't like the guy. Listen, and I'm guilty of this too. If Trump and Biden were both accused of the same thing, I'm going to be more likely to believe Trump is guilty. I'm going to be less likely to think that Trump deserves any forgiveness for that. I mean, it's human nature. But but
they are accused of the same thing. They're both accused of being old.
That's not an accusation. That's a fact.
No, I think it's an accusation.
No. Well, it's an accusation based on fact. All right. How about that?
Well, a lot of accusations are based on facts.
Right. Not always.
No, a lot.
Well, the accusation that Louis C.K. forced himself on women, which is on my Facebook page by, I think it's Kermit Apio.
The Frog?
Kermit Apio. He's a clean comic who is from Hawaii, which for the name. But he lives in Seattle. But he was on there disagreeing with me, basically saying that Louis C.K. is the worst creep in the world, and because he jerked off in front of women who said, yes, I'll watch you jerk off. I was like, man, we could find. Don't do yourself a favor. Do not ever Google Hollywood scandals, because you will come up with far worse shit than that. Like Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson and Roman Polanski. Jack Nicholson used to have parties at his house where he had 13 to 16-year-old girls, and he'd like just give them to his friends. Yeah, fuck this one, fuck that one. And it wasn't until one complained that Roman Polanski,
one of his friends or one of the girls.
One of the girls complained. A 13-year-old girl complained that Roman Polanski drugged her up and fucked her, and then he was accused of rape and then fled the country and all that kind of stuff.
But where did the girls come from? That's the thing. Where did they get the 13?
Up the hill. Jack, they were neighborhood girls. Jack would recruit girls to come to his fucking orgies that he would have. This is what I'm saying. Jack Nicholson is a true creep. I mean, there was no consent here. He was going out fishing for young girls, and he put it on hold while Roman Polanski was on being charged and all that stuff. But he didn't stop. He just waited till the smoke cleared and went back to doing it again. And he gets a free ride. I mean, nobody's turning off Jack Nicholson movies or saying you can't watch Jack Nicholson movies or you can't enjoy him because, well, what he did. No, and I enjoy Jack.
Yeah, but they do during the Lakers games. He doesn't get as much time as he should when he's sitting in the front row of the Lakers games.
Fuck with the wrong Marine.
That's punishment enough, I think.
Yeah.
I think like a year ago, it might have been The Onion or somebody like that had posted a picture at Jack at one of the Lakers games, and he had spilt chili all over the floor. It's a great picture if you want to see it. It's fake, but it's a beautiful story.
He's got to be like almost 100 fucking years old too now, Jack.
He has to be.
Oh yeah, I think he's like 90. Let's see when he was born.
So he's not fucking 13-year-old girls anymore. But this is the point they're making is that if they're dead, I can watch this stuff. Like, they bring up Da Vinci. Yeah, I can appreciate Da Vinci's stuff because he's dead and he's not making any money off of me. So it becomes about money, not about. It's really confusing their moral pedestal that they stand on. Like, I could watch if Louis C.K. dies tomorrow. I could watch one of his specials and maybe.
I think maybe you may be misinterpreting what they're saying. I think they're not saying that if he were dead. I think they're saying if you were to cause his death, you could enjoy his material.
No, the actual words were. I'm not misinterpreting. I'm giving you an exact quote of what.
Okay.
He said, if he dies tomorrow, maybe I could watch some of his stuff.
Right. What he's saying is, I want to watch his stuff. Will someone please kill him so I can watch his stuff? That's what they're saying.
No.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson is 87.
That's all.
Oh,
a youngster.
Okay.
That sounds a little young, but okay.
Yeah, he was born in 1937.
Did Kermit remove his comment here? Kermit, he edited it.
Kermit the Frog here.
The difference to me is Da Vinci doesn't benefit from my appreciation because he's dead. By watching anything CK does, I'm giving him approbation. I don't know if that's what he meant to say, through capitalism. So it doesn't matter if he's funny or not because I won't find out. He's not worth my click. If I outlive him and he dies penniless, I'll check out some of his clips. So it's not about the fact that you're outraged about him taking his dick out. You just don't like the fact that he's getting rich. He's still getting rich or still prospering. And it doesn't seem like you're.
So poor sex offenders are just screwed.
I wonder if he watches any Harvey, because Harvey Weinstein. How many movies did Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, the Weinstein Company is in everything. Yeah, I mean, how can you almost can't throw a rock into a movie store and not hit a Weinstein movie.
All right. So I don't know.
Not that movie stores are a thing anymore, but you know what I'm saying.
It's really, I don't know. It's like hypocrisy as far as, or not hypocrisy, but no real moral stance on the thing. It's like, if, again, it comes back to, do I like the guy? What was the crime? And can I forgive that person for that crime because I like them? But I can't forgive somebody because I didn't like them. And that's not necessarily being a good guy.
That's not really like a moral decision. That's
yeah, and you're free to say that. It's just not my. There are plenty of people I don't like in show business, and you cannot like them. I'm just trying to think of one. Justin Timberlake, I'm not a fan of his. Not like I don't like him, dislike him, but I'm not a fan of his. He got arrested for DWI, and you know what? I feel like he should probably face all the same penalty a poor person or.
Well, yeah. I mean, his actions could have led to the very same actions anybody else drunk driving could have. He could have hit a family of 4. He could have hit a party happening. I mean, it was just as dangerous as anyone else. He should have the same consequences.
Yeah. And bottom line here, I wasn't telling anything.
I think he does face the same penalty.
Money. What?
I think any poor person that would have been drinking in the Hamptons and driving home drunk would have gotten the same penalty as Justin Timberlake.
Well, he didn't get a penalty yet. Hasn't gone to court yet. He's got a lawyer.
Well, he's been arrested, right? He was indicted. I think any poor person would have gotten the same thing if they were drinking and driving.
I don't think you're right.
You don't think any poor person in the Hamptons?
No, because the difference is Justin Timberlake could get $1 million bond, and he could say, "Give me 10 seconds, and I'll get it for you."
And not that there are no poor people in the Hamptons.
I was just saying. No, also,
you can't have. Just let's be clear about this.
The housekeeper.
You can't have rich people without having poor people.
Yeah, where do you think the help comes from?
Somebody's got to be the slave.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
You could have just said butler or servant, but that works too, I guess.
Well, it's used in computers. The computers, if you have two computers, one and they're joined, they're in a network. One's a master, the others are slaves. It's
it's Nietzscheism. Master or slave.
Ron said I was a Nietzsche comic.
Who said that?
Ron said I was a Nietzsche comic.
No, I think he said itchy comic.
I think he said you make him itchy when you comment on things.
Yeah.
Is what he was saying. He's allergic to the tomfoolery.
So yeah, the Hamptons is full of poor people. There's more poor people than
tomfoolery. Such a young people using such young words. I don't even know what tomfoolery means.
I'm sitting in a room of over a century of life experience. I'm trying to fit in, okay? Cut me some slack. I'm in a wheelchair already because I wanted to fit in. I'm wearing Depends so I could be more like Matt. I'm trying here, okay? Give me some slack.
I'm still trying to figure out who Willy Nilly is.
Chris Dixon could never be angry at you, whether you is me or you.
It's you. I think it's you. I think it's you.
I think it's you.
This month I can't be mad at GD, but I can be mad at Matt. Next month I can be mad at GD.
So the bottom line here, I never told anybody to patronize Louis C.K. or pay for any of his stuff. And no, if you see, because he's not getting money from his dopey reels that are on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. Somebody else is just taking a clip of his special and them making 3 cents off it. You're not making him rich if you laugh at one of his reels. And I never told anybody to spend money on it. I'm just saying, don't be mad at me for laughing at his jokes or thinking some of them. It's like, you know what? I didn't fucking jerk off in front of anybody. Well, today.
Yeah, today.
Right. And, or, you know what? I never jerked off in front of anybody who didn't have it coming.
If they didn't earn it, they didn't get it.
Exactly. So don't be mad at me.
That's fair.
I mean, would you be mad at me because I'm if you walked in on me watching a Woody Allen movie, would all of a sudden I'd be like a pervert?
Yes.
Which movie?
Same thing with the Kevin Spacey movie. You'd be gay.
Is it one of the ones he released to the public or from his private collection?
Well, how would I know about the private collection? You obviously do. Have you been to his house? What your connection?
I mean, you're closer to his neck of the woods than I am.
GD, did you guys meet at a Diddy party?
Meet my cousin.
Jackie actually was at a dinner party with Epstein. It was Epstein's party. It was Epstein, Woody Allen, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and Jackie Martling all in one picture together. I was like, what happened to Ellen? She was busy beating her staff that day? What the fuck?
One of these things, not like the other.
Yeah. Louis
Cosby was black. Yeah, it was Cosby because she was black.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, basically, Pee Wee Herman jerked off in front of, well, not in front of, in back of.
He was surrounded by fans.
Right. Yeah.
He was doing the sprinkler thing.
All right. It's time to play Jerk Off Confession on the Mind Dog Coffee and the Dog Show. Have any of you guys ever jerked off in front of somebody, consensually or unconsensually? Have you ever jerked off in front of somebody?
Consensually, yes.
Was it a guy?
In the same room as a guy, yeah.
All right. No, I listen. My first wife. One time I did that, and the response was never do it again. So
yeah, I can't say my wife.
Were you making the noises that you make when you're alone?
Because she woke up with my dick right here. I mean.
Oh well, that's a little different than just doing it.
I'm kidding about that. It's really not a funny thing to joke about. You shouldn't be joking about this, you Louis C.K. pervert.
I hate that I can see in my head that's like Matt standing over her just yee. And she wakes up, she's like, oh fuck, not again.
I think it's the sounds that annoy people, not
is that action. A Boeing? Oh, that's not a plane. It's a cock.
But your door fell off.
To be fair,
falling apart.
A cock flying over your face could look like a plane, I think, in some ways.
Yeah, I mean,
So Randy,
it depends. Like, if you're just going to do a full JO in front of them, that is, a different crime against humanity because, nobody should really see that especially as a man, because the terrible faces you make and shit like that. At least if you're both involved in the act and somehow it's a little better. But yeah, a standalone jerk off is not good for anybody.
I want to just say that I don't know the faces I make because I've never looked in the mirror while I'm doing it. So that would be a little weird. I think I'd hate myself. Don't watch the Coffee with the Dog show because
it's the only way I can get hard anymore.
Gotta look right at myself and just be like, yeah.
So do you put on Turning Japanese while you?
No, I just pick up my phone and I flip the camera and go to work.
Oh, I never even thought about that. We have I know. Well, see,
then what's nice too with that hand that you're holding the phone with, you can put up emojis and stuff while you're going.
Yeah. So anyway, please just stop abusing me.
So what's the emoji of choice during this activity?
And I'm sure I laugh at comedians who have done far worse. Here's the thing: Kermit and I have mutual friends who have done far worse, and he knows that. And he was. I'm not gonna go because I don't want to out people.
I think what's worse is there's guys that you hear about that basically just wear a woman down over time, and when she'll just fuck them to get them out, just to get them away. That's worse.
It only takes one time, and then they generally get away after the first time. They run, but the FBI cleared me of all that stuff. So
yeah. And plus, I've made a good investment in the newer cages that I've bought.
Do they have that new no rattle technology so the neighbors can't hear them struggle?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you got them on Temu, didn't you?
Yeah, and everything is hypoallergenic now, so it's good.
Oh,
so you got the Hammer Heart. You have the extra large Hammer Hearts.
Yeah, exactly.
Steven, no hat today. I just realized no hat today. Do you feel naked up there, or what? You feel like?
I usually wear a hat if I haven't had time to shave my head.
Bad hair day.
It's a great hair day.
No, when you.
I just wanted to be more like the Mind Dog.
All right. Hit yourself in the head with a hammer a few times. You'll get there.
All right, give me a second.
Get there. It's a cognitive dissonance.
They're in the garage. I'll have to do it after the show. I'll send a video.
Last night there was some guy talking about a study that was done at Harvard University in the 70s where they took old men who basically my age, old men, 65 years old at the time, and took them out of their environment for 7 days and put them up in a hotel that they dressed up as a 1940s or 50s hotel, pictures of Marilyn Monroe all over the place. And they told them, just act like children, just act like you did in your late teens or 20s. Just act young for a week. And at the end of the week, he said, according to this guy, and I have not done any research to see if it's accurate on this, they had physical manifestations of youth. In other words, their hair was growing faster and darker. Their nails were growing. They took on physical manifestations of a more useful person by acting like younger people again for a week. Just a week is all it took for them to rejuvenate their stuff. The mind has that powerful an influence on it. And to me, I find it hard to believe that this is accurate.
I don't think it's accurate because most men act like children anyway, and so we wouldn't be getting older anyway. I mean, we don't. Most men do not grow up; they just get better toys, and they get better at hiding the fact that they don't grow up.
Yeah, but they don't you don't surround yourself with a complete environment that tricks your mind into thinking you're back in your youthful days. Like if I had nothing but Led Zeppelin playing Frisbee with my friends out on, all the things I did in my youth were, and no influences of modern day old Matt.
I would not want to go back to the days when my siblings used to beat up on me and, tie me up and.
No, you're talking before your adolescence or early 20s. That was in your real youth.
Single-digit years.
Yeah. They
Well,
didn't
just
put
go
a
out
thing
and
that.
just go out and play some frisbee and put some Sabrina Carpenter on, and you're caught
Sabrina
up.
Carpenter?
Yeah.
Celine Dion or
Sabrina Carpenter. Who the hell is Sabrina Carpenter?
Sabrina Carpenter.
You mean
I'm
Karen
sorry,
Carpenter?
that's top 40 music for you guys. Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter is just just another pop star. She's like one of the newest pop stars.
No, I couldn't put on. No, I did not know that. Well, thank you for that. That's Sabrina Carpenter. Now, is that a real name or a made up name?
That I don't know, but that is her at least stage name.
There is a English woman who is all over my Facebook feed who's doing Carpenter covers, and she sounds like Karen Carpenter. She looks like she's even taking it to the extreme and doing the anorexia bulimic thing just to, but
she's tiny. She's tiny.
I think I'd have to put on my music, like Jethro Tull, Aqualung, Led Zeppelin 2.
You wrote those songs?
Yeah, that's my
song.
Oh,
I believe it.
Or that you can put on that Led Zeppelin cover band. What are they called?
Greta Van
Fleet.
And Fleet. Robert Plant does not have a lot of kind things to say about them. It's not surprising, I guess.
I've seen a weird combo of older musicians that like that he's that same style, and it's like a 50-50 mix of people that are like, oh, I love him, I love his sound, I love their sound, and the other people are like, this guy fucking sucks.
They have the sound, they don't have the mysticism. Robert Plant was like, I mean, whether his lyrics had any real fucking meaning to them or not, he was a guy who sounded like he smoked a lot of weed and tripped out every once in a while. But theirs is just, they got the that kind of stuff going on, but lyrically, it's like, is there a song here somewhere? I don't know. It's just like vocalizations, no words, no real words at all. No lyrics.
My issue is a lot of that music's just not hard enough to sing.
Sabrina Carpenter. I'm gonna have to look this up now.
So Matt, in your bands, like the Rockin' 45, how do y'all make decisions? Like with the singer, do y'all vote, or is it just you and Mikey get together and go no, and then everybody else says okay?
I'm not sure what you mean. What kind of decisions? There's no decisions to be made.
You said that. Well, for example, you were saying that the old singer wanted to come back. The lady singer wanted to come back.
Well, basically, he pays. He's the guy. He's the money man, and that's by design. Because if I was the money man in the early days of the band, and nobody got paid because I spent it. Sorry, I spent all the money on weed.
You snorted all the money, or just
so I decided that Mikey was always much better than money. You handle the money, so he handles the money. So it's up to him whether he's actually gonna say yes or no to this. But I bust his balls pretty hard. But nobody. It's not a democracy. Like the drummer and the bass player get absolutely no votes in anything we do.
That's all. That's why I didn't even, because I don't even know who or what they are. That's why I just say you and Mikey decide.
Or what they are either. And we have probably I had the number several years ago. I did the number of it was in the 150 range of bass players, and this was at least like probably about 10 years ago. 150 bass players that had played with us, and about 40 or 50 drummers, and that was 10 years ago. I mean, they're flaky, and they're not always available for all the gigs, so we use a lot of subs and all that stuff. And once you use them as a sub, they think they're in the band.
Like the guy from the Rolling Stones, who subbed for 20 years.
Yeah.
Who's been subbing for like 20 years now.
Yeah. He was subbing with the Good Rats before the Stones picked them up. You guys know the Good Rats? Or is that just a Long Island thing? Good Rats are dead. They're New York State.
Yeah, it's a Long Island thing.
As a New York State thing, actually, because they had a big following up in Buffalo and Rochester and Western New York. But Shiloh Deal began with them. Joe Franco in Charlotte Deal were basically like our drummer and bass players, transients, migrant workers with instruments. But so they don't have any say in this. But so the girl wants to come back, and the girl was the first co-host on this program, by the way, Kiera. She has now 4 kids, and little ones.
One for each band member.
Huh?
One for each band member.
I brought that up at one gig, by the way. It didn't go over well. But but when she comes back, like she'll be there tonight. She's coming to sing some songs with the band, but she's gonna bring all 4 kids, and 4 kids running around like fucking crazy, running around on stage, like hitting.
One with the bald head and the mustache. That must be disturbing.
Yeah, the one with they're all bald.
Especially for a girl. That's her daughter, bald head and mustache. That's gotta be pretty.
Eat me till I'm famous. What the hell is that? Next Friday, Billy McCarthy is going to be here. He's the most tied-in guy who nobody's ever heard of, I think. He claims to know Andrew Dice Clay, Joe Ancis, lived with Joe Ancis. I don't know. He's all over the place with what he's claimed to Comedy Insider. And I asked Jackie, I was like, you know this guy Billy McCarthy? Never heard of him. I know he emails me every once in a while, like, I don't know, but he's got a book about all these legends of comedy: Lenny Bruce, Joe Ancis, Rodney Dangerfield, Andrew Dice Clay, all these people.
I don't know who Joe Ancis is. I don't think. Maybe
Joe Ancis was the silent genius behind Lenny Bruce and Rodney Dangerfield. He would write material for them. According to legend, comedy legend, Joe Ancis was a comedic genius who had stage fright so bad he never could do comedy on his own. So he wrote for other people. He told them, he put the words in their mouth and sat in the audience as a ringer. Like if somebody's going to do crowd work, Joe's there to play with or play off or beat off. Watch your beat off. Louis C.K.'s best friend.
Okay.
I don't know. Did I answer your question? Yeah. No, there's no democracy. Mikey has the final money call on anything, and I let it be that way. I'm happy with.
So was you?
I get paid more.
But was you moving from bass to guitar a money call, or was that just a comp? You know, because you wanted to stay bass player, but you got wrangled into guitar.
The band started. We had a guitar player. I was the drummer at the time. The guitar player quit on a gig. And like, what are we gonna do? We can't just, the guitar. When it's bass, drums, and guitar, you can't have just bass and drums and think, well, we're gonna put on a show this way. So I played guitar on that gig, and then ever since then, I've been stuck in the guitar play. So I did play keyboards for a while too. When we got a drummer who could sing a number of songs, we let him play drums, and then. I was a guitar player for then, and now I'm a guitar player for 22 years in the band. But no, I did it because somebody quit on the spot.
Are you a guitar player?
Ooh,
yeah.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We were at a church gig, and we, it was the early days of the band, and basically you show up and you look out at the audience, and consider that I was probably about 43 or something, 42.
So this is about 60 years ago.
The altar boys gave their consent to watch.
It wasn't a Catholic church, no altar boys. But you look out at the audience, and everybody was the age I am now, or significantly older, and we're like, we can't play for these people. They're never going to like our music, and the guitar player was scared. He was actually scared to play in front of old people because they're going to boo us. They're going to hate us. Oh, what? You get through the gig, you get paid. But he left like 5 minutes before we were supposed to start. Like, what are we going to do? So that's how I became a guitar player. Yeah. I hate playing the guitar. And nothing I hate more than guitar solos. Not just me. I hate any guitar solos. I just don't like listening to guitar solos. I find them boring.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't
get goosebumps
understand how
with
guitar became the solo instrument for rock and roll. Saxophone was, and it's still the best instrument for solos and stuff like that. And I love keyboard
I
solos.
love the saxophone.
But yeah,
I like harmonicas. I like really good harmonica players.
I hate fucking harmonicas.
I love like Blues Travelers. I like Blues Travelers. I mean, then I don't even know any of their words, any of their songs. I take that back. I know 2 of the words to 2 of their songs, but
Once
when they
upon a
play
midnight dreary, I woke with something in my head.
Is that them also?
Couldn't escape the memory of the phone call and what she said.
What song is
game
that?
show contestant with a parting gift. I could not quite believe my eyes. Well, I saw through the words of a gifted friend who used to humor me and tell me lies. Yeah, humor me and tell me lies, but I lie too.
Oh, okay. So 3 songs. I know 3 songs of 3 of their songs. Once you got to the part where it says humor me and tell me lies, I said, "Oh, I know that part." Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So 3 of their songs I know, but I really like the harmonica player.
Are you familiar with the Blues Traveler Black Crowes feud stuff?
I didn't even know they were feuding with Crows.
Yes, they were feuding with Crows, the Black Crowes. Apparently, they were both booked on Howard Stern's show one morning, and Chris Robinson refused to even pass John Papa in the. He was
Who are those 2 guys? I'm assuming they play for the 2 different bands.
You just said you knew Blues Traveler. You don't know.
No,
Yeah,
I
said white guys that play the harmonica.
I like the harmonica. I said I know 2 of their songs and 2 of their lyrics.
Oh,
that's what I said.
John Pop is the harmonica player, lead singer for Blues.
Okay,
Traveler.
I don't know who plays the harmonica. I just know that I like to play.
You do now.
John Papa?
Yes.
Now, as white guys, we have to question GD on his blackness.
Yeah, we got to question your
I didn't know the name of the harmonica player.
I never believed he was black, not for a second. I always thought it was.
And the facade, GD, we get it.
He planned out an advanced scheme to get in on the reparations, is what it was, and that's all it's about.
Who, John Papa?
You.
John Papa, you?
John Papa's white. He's white and well, he used to be obese. He's not anymore. He's got a stomach staple.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So no.
Does that affect his harmonica playing?
He's not getting any
reparation.
It did. He's got less wind now.
That's weird because you'd think that with the stomach gone, the lungs will have more places to expand and you'd have more wind. But
call him up and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Get him on the show. Because I don't know him that well, but apparently you know him very well. I didn't know he existed.
Chris Robinson is the lead singer of the Black Crowes, and they did not get along. And they wouldn't. It's all on Chris Robinson stuff. Something about the Lilith, not the Lilith, one of those festivals that they had a problem. That he lingered this long grudge, and Papa claimed he didn't know anything about it. But then there he is.
Yep.
Which one is that?
That's John Popper.
Oh, Popper. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Papa, like Papa Roach. When it crawls across the floor.
Right. This is
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that.
You did.
You
got to see him naked.
No, I didn't need to see that. I'll just look at the album cover with the pictures of nobody on it. I had this CD, and I don't think there's any musicians on the cover.
There was that moment on Howard Stern, though, where Papa buried Chris Robinson by saying that basically he didn't just insinuate. He said the reason he's mad at me is because I could bring his wife to orgasm and he couldn't.
But was it a true statement?
I don't know. I think it was.
Because if it's true, he shouldn't be mad at
his wife was Goldie Hawn's daughter. What's her name? Kate Hudson.
Yeah, Kate Hudson.
Yeah. That's who he's talking
if it's a true statement, then the guy should be mad at himself for not being able to do it. If it's a false statement, then don't pay it any mind. Be a man.
I don't think in diss wars, logic plays any part in it. It's just like you're just saying things to kind of, yeah, I could bring her to orgasm just by mentioning Louis C.K.'s name. Have you heard the Louis C.K. special? And then I just did it again. What are we looking for? You looking for a good picture of her or a really hot picture? Now, do you think she's hot or no? Do we have consensus on this? I vote yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's not exactly my type, but she is very attractive.
Yeah.
Same.
What was the movie with Matt Dillon and Owen Wilson that she was in? Dupree and Me or something? Me and Dupree, something like that. The Calmness. She was hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was. Anyway, and they're Almost Famous. I think that's where she got. Yeah, that's Chris Robinson. But he don't look like that anymore.
No, I think that here we go. Maybe this is him. Here we go.
He's a fucked up guy. Listen, he can't get along with anybody. He's had feuds with everybody, even his brother who was in the band. It's hard to get along with. He's one of these people just kind of like me. Nobody likes him.
Those two are brothers and they're in a band together, so that just lends itself to fights right there. As soon as you enter into that partnership, it's going to be depending on the brothers, but yeah.
I said it worked for Van Halen. Eddie and his brother guy. I don't know his brother's name.
Edward and what are
Alex.
You talking about? Alex, yeah.
Yeah, it worked for them. And matter of fact, when they started off, Eddie played drums and the brother played guitar.
Wow. So you actually have heard of music before?
Well, some music.
Yeah, I think it worked up to a point. Then when Sammy joined the band, then
Sammy ruins everything. Sammy can't touch anything without turning it to shit. I'm sorry.
And he's got that. He's a solo singer. He's got that big ego, and that clash with those guys.
That's why he went solo in Vegas, because Sammy Davis Jr. just could not play with.
Hey guys, let me take out this glass eye and play this solo for you.
Yeah. Go.
I think you're wrong. I'm just gonna say I think you're wrong.
Okay.
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 Me too.
Okay.
I think Sammy was the easy one. I think Edward was the tough guy to get along with. I mean, he didn't like. If you look at his track record, Mitch, who's the best singer that Van Halen ever worked with, that never really got a chance to perform with them. Mitch something.
Hedberg.
No. Mitch. Just Google.
They did have trouble getting on stage with the stage fright. Could you imagine him in an arena?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Mitch Malloy.
Yeah, Mitch Malloy. Yeah, he couldn't get along with him. He couldn't get along with David Lee Roth. He couldn't get along with Mitch. He couldn't get along with the other guy, and then Sammy. Edward could not get along with anybody. He was a difficult. His son Wolf has the same kind of I'm God and you're just here to amuse me type of. Yeah. Mitch Malloy was the best singer that Van Halen ever had. He was slated to be David Lee Roth's replacement, and never knew exactly why he didn't. It was before Sammy came along. I don't know why he never got along to do that. But just Edward thinking, "Wow, this guy's going to steal my my glory here. I'm the center of attention."
But in the early days, there's stories even when Eddie was alive. He talked about when they were on stage that he had such stage fright he couldn't even face the audience. He had to keep his back turned to the audience because it scared him.
That was his explanation for. But I'm glad you said when he was alive he talked about, because I've heard him talking about it even after he's dead. But
matter of fact, June Edwards and I are going to talk about that on Wednesday.
People said that. People said
Yes,
People said
Wolfie?
that Eddie was turning around to hide his technique because that's when he first started the tapping stuff, and he didn't want people to know what he was doing. So that's why he played with his back to the audience. But you know, not to talk ill about the dead, I want to say something good about it, Eddie Van Halen.
He's
How about
dead.
that? Well, no, he was. Even though he's an egomaniac, even though he was hard to get along with, very good heart. One day, when I was working at Stony Brook Pathology, Dr. Hyman came in my office with a Dr. Hyman. It's real. It was real name.
I was gonna say, is that made up?
No, Alan Hyman. Alan Hyman. I should get him on the program. He's a funny guy. He came in with a Polaroid, a wet Polaroid of him and Eddie Van Halen standing outside my office. I was like, when was this taken? About a minute and a half ago. And Eddie Van Halen was standing outside my office, and all you could do was like bring me in a Polaroid. Like what didn't occur to you like that? Hey, you want to meet Eddie Van Halen? The doctor who had treated Van Halen for this is like a wild story, for his original cancer. He had mouth cancer. And they were trying to figure out the story about how it developed and all this stuff. And the doctor who was examining him, and I didn't know his name, but he was a local guy. He found the abscess in Van Halen's mouth, and it was shaped like a guitar pick. And it was kind of like in his mind that, and then he brought Eddie Van Halen home because his kid was 13 years old, and the kid was idolizing Eddie Van Halen. Could you show him some stuff? And he put the guitar pick in his mouth and started doing this. And he said, "Wait a minute, put that guitar pick exactly where your cancer is, and it comes out in the shape of a guitar pick." He said, "What's the deal with that?" And it turned out Eddie Van Halen was using titanium guitar picks, not plastic picks.
Oh,
Titanium, metal picks that were coated with titanium, and that was what was causing the cancer. And basically, they figured that out, and they saved his life by taking the cancer out and all that stuff, doing the surgery, taking the lip cancer out. And he stayed in Danford's hotel while he was rehabbing, and he gave $10 million cash to that doctor's cancer foundation, research foundation. So that's a good on him to be able to fork over $10 million cold.
So he probably got $20 million from the guitar pick company.
So Eddie Van Halen couldn't handle heavy metal, huh?
Yeah, that's true. Heavy metal gave him cancer. He had heavy metal cancer.
Did you hear the big news about McDonald's? They have released a $5 meal.
Yes, 2 fries.
Titanium picks.
2 fries and a shake.
Yeah, it's the $5 meal deal. So that's out there. It is. It includes a McDouble cheeseburger or a McChicken sandwich, small fries, a 4-piece nugget, and a small soft drink. And that starts
Did you ever have
June 25th.
McChicken cutlets or I don't know, Macau? Have you ever seen like a Macau farmer or McChicken farm?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Where are they getting all the McChickens from?
Oh, from that pizza shop in DC. That's where they're getting all of them.
I was thinking Ireland.
I was thinking Old McDonald's farm, but
yeah. Oh, that's good. That's very clever. Very clever. But no, I was thinking Ireland where they have
people.
I was thinking the news is overdue because you guys are about to crash the show into.
Wow. We're past. I can tell you, I'm going to make a psychic prediction here. The news sucks. That's right, Kreskin. Ian, don't suck already.
The White House has condemned China over what the Philippines described as an intentional high-speed ramming by the Chinese Coast Guard.
We're deeply concerned about the injuries suffered by the Philippine sailor and wish him a swift recovery, said National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. This provocative and reckless behavior by China is unnecessary, Kirby told journalists. Liam White reporting.
A cargo ship sank in the Red Sea following an attack by Yemen's Houthi rebels.
The UK military's Maritime Trade Operations Centre issued a notice to sailors in the area, According to the Associated Press, one mariner on board was believed to have died in the attack, marking the second deadly Houthi assault on international shipping. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have signed a partnership agreement in Pyongyang, furthering their strategic cooperation against Western leaders.
The agreement includes a pact for mutual help in the face of aggression against either nation, as reported by Russian media. In his opening statement, Putin thanked Kim for his unwavering support for Russia's war in Ukraine. The two leaders met in Pyongyang on Wednesday during Putin's official state visit. Benjamin Wright reporting.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office has projected that the federal budget deficit will reach $1.9 trillion for the 2024 fiscal year.
This new deficit forecast is $400 billion higher than the CBO's previous estimate in February, marking a 27% increase. The CBO attributes this rise to various factors, including recent legislation allocating $95 billion in aid to Ukraine, Israel, and the Indo-Pacific region, which Congress approved in April after prolonged deliberations. Jim Kender reporting.
Yeah. Oh, do we have to
This
listen to
is the latest news
or...
headlines.
I'm sorry. WRFE, I love the news. My favorite part of the show. Get with it, Al.
An early start to the U.S. wildfire season has intensified in the West, with deadly blazes in New Mexico prompting a state of emergency.
Simultaneously, California firefighters are dealing with 5 major fires burning at both ends of the state. In New Mexico, firefighters are battling 2 large wildfires that began Monday in the same area, spreading to over 23,400 acres by Wednesday morning. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Recreational boaters discovered $1 million worth of cocaine floating in the ocean off the Florida Keys.
Samuel Briggs II, acting chief patrol agent of the U.S. Border Patrol, shared the find in a social media post on X. Briggs posted a video Monday night showing the wrapped packages of cocaine being wheeled away.
The party starts at 9.
Now, let's bear with me here for a second. So let's just say you guys actually knew how to boat. Let's just say you were captains of your own little boat there, and you're out there off the Keys, and you're fishing or whatever you're doing. Maybe I don't know, whatever you're doing, and you find $1 million worth of cocaine. You're going to turn it into the cops.
I'm going to turn in $500,000 worth of cocaine.
Well, why that much? Seriously, are you going to turn it in at all? Or are you going to
see? The thing that would scare me is being out in that water. Is that they're probably out there looking for people that's carrying it anyway. So I don't know if I'd risk it. I'd turn it in probably.
You fucking pussy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll see. A life sentence for me is another 60 years. If it was you guys, you'd only have like 30 years in prison. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, Ron knows how to boat, all right.
Oh my God.
What the fuck are you doing here? Don't be showing porn here.
Okay, if I had that boat, I wouldn't turn it in.
No, seriously though, would you find?
Porn, it's just a cover.
You got to. Maybe you guys don't even know because you're so innocent and pure and ivory snow cunts that you are.
What's the quantity of that dollar amount of cocaine?
It's a lot.
Is it a lot? Yeah. See, I don't know. Maybe I would just break some off and just let it keep floating.
Well, let's say. Let me just do a little quick math here. Probably about 500 pounds. 500 pounds. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'd probably break some off and just let the rest float away, to be honest. I don't know if I'd take all of it.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, this is the thing. I know people who could move that probably in a day. Or
yeah, I don't. I don't know anyone who can move that kind of quantity.
I don't know those people anymore. The people I knew.
Yeah, no,
live here.
Country for Old Men. That's what that story is really about, isn't it? But I don't think that guy's real. First of all, with the little air gun thing, but I would not worry about that. Because I would hand it off to somebody. I mean, how would they trace it back to me anyway?
Well, I mean, you didn't.
Yeah, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who would do that, and I don't know anybody that I would trust to do that. If I knew them, I don't know. I probably want to talk to them.
Here's the thing. You could turn it over to me, give me a cut, and I know a guy, and so basically you're just reducing your cut.
Well,
but would you turn it into the authorities, thinking, yeah, I'm just going to give this to the police? It's worth big money.
Well, I'd say now that I know you, maybe, The other people I know that could move it live too far away also, though, because that means I'd have to take it over state lines.
So is your concern that you can't really get rid of it, or is your concern that it's a bad thing? Because I don't, you know what?
I just can't get rid of it. I don't. I mean, it might. I have the mindset that if you're gonna do drugs, it's your personal right to do whatever you want to do to your own body. So go do you. That being said, I just don't have a way to move that. So that's my concern.
Yeah, I don't think that much cocaine is going to really have any effect on the American drug problem.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, $1 million worth of cocaine. That's
my conscience would be
What,
absolutely.
What does the government give you for turning it in? Do you get like a finder's fee?
No, they thank you. And you heard, oh, maybe I bombed it before, but before it actually said, but the sheriff just thanked him for their civic duty. Doing their civic duties,
and then the sheriff
thank you.
Money.
Yeah,
you know, if anything, I'd maybe message the cartel and be like, "I found this for you." Maybe they'll give me a fee.
The cartels or mobsters or whoever really owned that stuff before they lost it, and fuck you, you lost it. But now that you turned it in, they know your name anyway, and they're going to be just as pissed as if you would have sold it and made the money. You're still on the shit list of those people, no matter what. So
that's honestly.
What if you didn't give it to the sheriff? Then what if you gave it to the FBI? Because the FBI would use it for stings, and they could actually give you money, right? The FBI would pay you for it because they're the CIA. The CIA are known drug traffickers, so they would pay you for it.
Here's the thing: I don't think they'd pay for it or anything. The government's so fucking awful on their informants. Even it's crazy. I was watching the documentary on Jared Fogle, right? The Subway guy. And this this reporter took it on herself to like undercover work her way in to get him to trust her. And she recorded everything, took it to the FBI. The FBI said, you recorded it without his permission. You have two options. We're going to arrest you, or we're going to send you back in undercover to record him, but under our order. And then you're good to go. She got nothing out of it but hassle and bullshit for trying to help the
book deal. She got a book deal. Right?
I
don't even know if she got a book deal. All I saw was that
I'd like to think I have changed, but I haven't. In my youth, I think I was like 20. I was working in one of these gas stations, one of the gas stations where you sit in the booth and people come up like your OTB and they want $20 on number 2. That kind of And I was working the midnight shift, and a transvestite came in, was pumping gas, and while she was pumping gas, or he was pumping gas, whatever their pronouns were, a pound of pot fell out of the jacket, and they didn't notice it, and it fell on the floor. And I waited for them to finish pumping gas, drive off, and then I went out there and I got it, and I brought it back in. And I was like, that person's going to come back. They're going to realize they lost a fucking pound of weed somewhere along the line. So I took like an ounce out and put it in a separate baggie. And she came back and she goes, she looked around. She was frantically looking around the parking lot and like, it's not there. Then she came up to the window. She said, did anybody find anything out here? And I was like, my instinct was, I don't know what you're talking about. But then I felt bad. Like that's a lot of weed, especially in those days. That's a lot of money for somebody to lose. So I said, yeah, and then I gave it away. And then she was like, you want some for turning it back to me? And I didn't have the heart to say. I already took an ounce and a half, so I just gave it back. But now I think with that cocaine thing, I would definitely listen. I'd call my friend. Either I would try to cash in on it, or I'd go to DC and be like the most popular guy for a week. I'd be like,
I was driving. This was in the 80s. I was driving to work, and the guy in front of me was on a motorcycle, and he had a backpack on, and there was cash falling out of his backpack. Okay, and people were pulling over to grab the cash, and I sped up to catch the motorcyclist, to tell him he was dropping his cash out of his backpack.
Get the fuck off my show.
Yeah, what monster does that?
What goody two shoes?
One thing, cash is different.
Ron, you got to know another black guy we can get on here.
I know a few.
Who needs that goody two shoes? Fuck. That goody two, and he steals my spot too when you let him back in the room. You see that? I'm wondering if
So I really would turn to cocaine in.
Flowtone.
That's what I'm saying. It's just in my nature.
Well, that's why we hate you. Flowtone. I'm not sure if they're blowing us off, or they're flowing a tone, or flowing a blown, or blowing a.
Used to be addicted to crack.
I used to be addicted to crack. Can't tell what it's saying.
That's it.
That's it.
We might be getting blown off by Flowtone, and I'm okay with that. I guess if it has to be. They're from Chicago, and they might have time zone retardation or something. Ron,
yes, time zone retardation. That's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Ron,
at least on this show it is.
Sabrina Carpenter, do you know about her because you know her music, or you know about her because you have daughters?
I know about her because I've seen her on SNL and just from being around, and it's pop music.
She's been around a while, right? She's got her own perfume line, and what else does she got? Some other like major corporation endorsements. She doesn't look that young. She looks like somebody faking young.
Maybe,
like
yeah. I mean,
probably 35 playing a 22-year-old, something like that.
Carbon date. Yeah. Let's find out.
Never heard of her. GD, you know her well, right? You perform.
Oh yeah, I'm really up on the young hip hop scene. Yeah.
Hip hop?
Yeah.
I don't think she's a hip hopper. Is she a hip hopper, Ron? No.
She's just like regular pop.
She's a Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm up on the hip hop scene. Yeah. On the hip hop scene.
It seemed like she is a big fan of the duck skirt.
Did she have a harmonica player in her band?
She plays with her clique. She plays harmonica.
No, those are called queens.
Yeah. But every picture I see she's wearing a duck skirt, which is the duck skirt just comes up to the quack. I mean, really.
You see her web feet hanging out? You see her web feet hanging out the bottom?
She's just begging young boys to kind of look up. I don't know. I mean, how do you?
Yeah, she's 25, and yeah, there she is.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Just hit the images tab up on top. Images.
Well, I know. I mean, how many do we need?
I know. Now come down to this quack skirt. See all that quack skirt? That's a quack skirt. Yeah. No, Jesus. Like I could see what you had for breakfast this morning.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Now, that's her boyfriend, that ugly looking dude?
Yeah, Barry Cogan.
If you're a young man and you look at that dude and you say, well, he's scoring some grade A Whole Foods pussy.
That's some grade A top quality shelf beef out there.
Yeah, he was in that. He was in that movie Saltburn recently. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Was he the burn or the salt?
He was definitely the salt, and he was definitely eating the salt. There's a very there's a interesting scene that takes place in a bathtub.
They had a cute date night, it says. And that's
so he was eating bath salts? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, something like that. Check it out.
So it looks like we're getting stood up here. I don't know what to do with this time now. I had to have what to do with this time. It's just
being stood up.
Oh well. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't know who they were anyway.
Oh, she plays guitar though. No, she plays an electric guitar. Unlike, I've never seen Taylor Swift play an electric guitar. I've seen her with acoustic guitar. I've seen her play piano. Oh no, these are some quack skirts. Oh my God.
Well, Taylor Swift, to be honest, doesn't have enough money to buy an electric guitar. That's why she's still playing the same acoustic guitar she's had since she was 12.
I'm surprised.
Afford new equipment.
They're making these comparisons. Taylor Swift resurfaces about Sabrina Carpenter tweets about Taylor Swift resurface. What is that? I gotta see this. Oh, I got to see this. These young kids. It's like a poontang. Pennsylvania-born musicians perform a duet of White Horse and Coney Island in Sydney, Australia. What the fuck does that have to do with this girl and Taylor Swift?
You got clickbaited.
I did. Clickbaited. I got clickbaited. Fuck me.
You can't clickbait in front of us. We didn't consent.
See, Matt, that's how you that's how you lose your money. You just click on anything that looks semi-perverted or sexy, and you just next thing you know, you've just
nothing about that looks semi-perverted except her quack skirt. And listen, there's nothing perverted about that except the old man looking at it.
That's not okay. But the point is, you fall for it, and then next thing you know, you give a $900 to some Nigerian prince.
I don't give money to anybody. I don't except Willie.
Okay, they've stolen $900 from you.
No, it's creative. The creativity behind these scams. I do get a lot of them, but I don't fall for them. But with all the kind of terrible things I've said this morning, I don't think the new sponsor is going to follow through. I should look up who the hell they were.
Were you making bad comments about the sponsor or just their demographic that they're trying to reach?
Well, I don't think people like to sponsor people, old men talking about young girls in quack skirts. It doesn't seem.
I feel like if
they would go to a Louis C.K. concert.
I think of all the things said on this show, I doubt that's the thing that's going to tell them that.
Yeah. Well, apparently, because a lot of everybody says this to me. Like when guests, and I almost want to put them to the test. When I get these guest requests, oh, big fan of the show. I've watched a number of episodes. I want to test them a little bit about this. But these people actually did seem to know the content of the show, because in the letter they wrote about doing a collaboration here, partnership. They pointed out some things that were said, and I was like, wow, and guests I've had on, I was like, wow, I don't really have to put these people to a test. They've already proved it in the letter. And
so do they refer to us by name, or do they say the black guy, the Crip, and the old guy with the beard?
They mention everybody by name except you. It's like your persona non grata. They don't even mention you. It's like, no, there's no black dude on the show. And I've been saying all along, you're not a black dude. You're just somebody in it for the reparation. Looks like it. Yeah.
I do have showbiz news.
Well, that wouldn't suck.
Yes.
Apparently, Ron didn't get the memo. He's bringing stuff that doesn't suck to the table, because we are only about stuff that sucks.
Enjoy the suffering.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to do something that sucks first, we can do daily observances, then go into showbiz.
Yeah, you haven't done that in a while. You have one job and you fucking slack on it every fucking day.
Oh, well, sorry that I feel like it's not as important when we're having amazing conversations with guests.
One job. Now, before you do that, I just want to play one. It's a short clip. Can I play a short clip? I can play a short clip. Can I?
Please play that short clip.
This is, I don't know if you guys are aware. I'm sure GD's aware because he's like a political guy. State of Louisiana, because that's easy for me to say. They passed a law that the 10 Commandments must be displayed in every public school classroom. And the governor is signing the bill into law here. And they've showed this video like 10 million times.
Because if you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start.
Nobody has brought up the girl looking like she's dropping dead.
Oh my God!
I saw that in the news. I heard it. I read it in the news.
She just
died on the stage.
And he just goes right on talking like.
Because if you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start.
This just shows that they're only pro-life before they're born.
That clip ran, not kidding, 10 million views just on YouTube alone. God knows how many on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff before anybody noticed that or pointed it out. And the news still hasn't talked about it. Like, we need follow-up. Is that girl alive? I mean,
yeah, I saw it on I was doing research for something today and late last night, and I saw it, and even then I didn't care. It just said it didn't say it said a woman fainted, so they didn't have the full thing. It was like, and I was
Maybe
like, I
she
don't
was a
care.
little person.
Little girl,
but it's obviously it's a young girl.
Definitely a child.
Fainted.
Whose blood sugar is low. They made her stand there while then her sugar crash. Young diabetic.
All right. Are you buying that, or can we go with some conspiracy theory here?
I think she was roofied by the governor.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably some kind of like exorcism thing.
I think this just shows that religion isn't real, because why didn't Jesus come in and catch her?
I actually caught a Sam Kinison bit on how tough it must have been for the disciples to call in sick. Hello, Jesus. I'm really sick today. Oh, you're healed. Oh, you're healed. Well, fuck. I gotta go to work. So yeah, you want to get to observances, and then we'll get to show. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Eating fucking condiments?
Yes.
No,
you were sucking down mustard packages or something.
No, I'm opening my medicine. All right, I'm old at heart. Okay, so observances. So today is International Yoga Day. So for those of you who appreciate the pants, you're welcome. Going on, National Selfie Day.
What is it?
National Selfie Day. And Matt is fantastic.
Like they needed a day for that.
Yeah, right. National Take Your Dog to Work Day.
Dog?
Yeah.
We're here.
I brought mine here. All right. National Wagging Day.
If you had like a really distempered dog and it was biting the shit out of everybody in the office, that would be.
And
good.
his name was Matt, and
yeah.
And he had mange, so he lost all the hair on his head.
Bring your distempered dog to work today.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, unfortunately, it's too bad our guest canceled, but today is World Day of Music.
Yeah, we'll be at Catch, Venetian Shores, Lindenhurst, Long Island tonight. It will be under the full moon. And
awesome.
Hopefully Titties will be making an appearance.
Today is also Diminishing Returns Day, because the days are getting shorter. Summer has hit, and so the days are getting shorter and shorter. The more we get into summer, the more the days
Depressing motherfucker, you.
You son of a bitch. I'm trying to go through these really positive national observances here, and you got to come in with that shit.
Depressing motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah. Going on. It is the New Year's in the Andes region. So happy New Year's, guys.
Yeah.
It's also
are they Mayan? Are they Mayan?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. They're brown. So maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's also the New Year in Amara.
Hold on, so let me
Well, maybe this will bring him back since he's Papoosatuk. It's Canada's National Indigenous Peoples Day.
Where the white
They're
women
taking
at?
our jobs. They're taking our women. They're taking our children. Anyway, sorry, I felt like my grandfather for a second here. Do I look like him?
Yeah, I see the family resemblance.
There's a huge family resemblance there. Okay.
I got the hood on him just in time to say Indigenous Peoples Day.
I know. And then lastly but not least is National Skateboarding Day.
Not a big fan.
Last one. Sorry. And of course, today's the summer solstice.
Actually, yesterday was the summer.
That was yesterday.
4:51 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Today is the International Day of the Celebration of the Solstice.
Oh, we can celebrate shit that happened yesterday.
Yeah, there's something they call the Diminishing Returns Day.
Or Human Sacrifice Day.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking about the Andes New Year. If that was Mayan, then we'd have to give up like a sacrifice.
Oh. I thought you're bringing up Andy. There's no reason to be bringing up Andy right now.
Andy Milonakis?
I'm gonna have to see. Here's what happened with this is it not even flow? Flow tone. Their manager reached out to me several times on Facebook. I got multiple music artists. I'd love to get some publicity for them, all that stuff. It took like forever going back and forth, having to answer questions about what we do here. Finally booked the date, and then the band doesn't show up. Now, what is my recourse here? To just like be nasty to them?
Charge them a booking fee.
Too late for that now. I mean, if I would have thought of that in advance. But do I? The question is, do I be just a argumentative? You're an asshole. You wasted my time, or just let it go and just never book anything with her anymore?
I mean, is this the first time it's happened?
Wait to hear the excuse.
Is this the first time you've worked with the booker?
Yes.
I would. Well, I would. Ooh, I don't know. If it was me, it's a tough call because I mean, if there was an emergency, you'd figure if there was an emergency or something, they'd reach out, right? But a no-show, I would just kind of ties and call it.
My email, maybe somebody emailed me and said we can't make it. I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah,
know.
I would say without any sort of contact or communication and just not showing up, that's super unprofessional and dickhead move in my book.
Yeah. I'm just seeing if they wrote me an email. No, I don't see any emails from.
Well, there is a difference between an explanation and an excuse, so I would hear it out. If it's an excuse, then I just wouldn't deal with them. If it's an explanation, then sure, I would give them a second shot.
All right, well, maybe you should handle it then. We're going to put you in charge of PR. Puerto Rico.
I don't think you want me in charge of PR. I've ruined my own PR. What would I do to yours?
PR, as I said, not PR. Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Get your wife over here. Not you. You're not a real Puerto Rican.
Well, I go in there enough.
Somebody throw a roll of paper towels at him and see what happens. It's the Puerto Rican test.
Stephen, do you know that Neil Brennan joke about the Corinthians and the Puerto Ricans?
I do not.
Oh, it's a great fucking joke about just how writing a letter to the Corinthians is kind of like writing a letter to the Puerto Ricans, like, hey, Puerto Ricans, please keep the music down. Thanks, Big Lair.
That seems almost a little racist. Well, it's very welcome on this program. All right, that's it with the observances, right? We observed that.
That's it. That garbage is done. Let's get on the showbiz.
Neil Brennan is as racist as the rest of us, so that's what we discovered here. All right, it's time for showbiz.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz.
Showbiz, everybody. How's everyone doing? It is Friday, and I want to let everyone know before we get started, Showbiz, since it is the first day of summer, has a sponsor for this segment. So let me play their clip for you.
It's hot and sticky today. If you've been searching for some relief, look no further than the Glory Lemonade stand. Our talented staff and local degenerates are there to swallow up your thirst. The first thing you will notice at Glory Lemonade are the holes where you put your order in. Choose from our menu. Basic lemonade, just enough to cool you down, but not a finishing act. The Palmer, 50% lemonade, 50% in a dark, tight place. Lemonade twist, all the lemonade you put down the throat. Don't believe us? Look what our customers say. I was so thirsty. I saw Glory Lemonade and knew they could finish the job. Don't be left thirsty. Stick it in the lemonade receiving area and get unloaded for
There we go. Thank you, Glory.
Refreshment on that sign on the stand.
What's that?
The sign on the stand. The sign on the stand at the very end. How they spell refreshment? Did you?
No,
ladies and gentlemen, Stevie Wonder on the Showbiz Report. I'm sorry. I thought that was Stevie Wonder. My glasses.
Stevie Wonder. Yeah, so let's get into Showbiz, everybody. Make sure you visit the Glory Lemonade stand this weekend. First news, of course, is Donald Sutherland passed yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
I saw R.I.P. Donald yesterday, and I almost jumped out of my chair. Yes, and then I saw it was Sutherland. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, he's got like 200. Well, he had 200 acting credits to his name. The guy was just prolific. He was in a shit ton of movies. He has a great bit part in a very old like 80s movie called Kentucky Fried Movie, where he plays a clumsy weapon. So if you've never seen that
around
movie,
the same time as the Groove Tube, they were like competing like doping puppet and really fast skit movies that had no plot, nothing. It was just like comedy movies. But
yeah, I thought Kentucky Fried Movie is definitely funnier. I think, in my opinion.
I would agree.
He was also in a Kate Bush music video, Cloud Busting.
Wow. What's your favorite Donald Sutherland role?
Oh, Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce.
Yep, he was in MASH. Hunger Games. He was part of that Hunger Games.
I was gonna say, I think it's the only thing I remember him from. I'm more familiar with his son's work.
My favorite is his, and it wasn't the biggest part in the movie. In JFK, he was like a CIA informant.
Oh yeah,
spilling the beans to Kevin Costner, about the role of the CIA in killing Kennedy. That was.
He also has a book coming out in November. Maybe we can get him on the show to promote it.
He hasn't finished writing it yet.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think they need to rewrite the ending, but yeah, he's the book was finished. It's due to be released November 12th.
All right. Yeah.
It's
not going to be.
This is showbiz. We don't read GD.
Oh, look! There's Donald Sutherland playing a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Why am I looking at? I think
Dallas 40.
Wait, if I could zoom in on that redhead, I think I know her.
If you're wondering what this is from a new Netflix series that dropped yesterday called America's Sweethearts, the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. And it's like a 7-episode behind the scenes glimpse of what a cheerleader goes through.
Well, let me just brag for a second here. I banged a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader in 1978.
Little League doesn't count.
Like Debbie does Dallas?
No, a legitimate Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Her name was Julie. I'm not going to say her last name. I could say her last name. She's probably dead. But she was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, beautiful girl. I met her in the Dallas airport while we were both waiting for a flight to Lubbock. She was going to Texas Tech at the time, but then she became a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and we had a weekend together. And basically, that was it. But you know what? That's bragging right. That's like a notch on my gun to me. That's like it. And when
gun is now shooting blanks.
If there were like a pearly gates and like, what did you accomplish in life? If let's just say there's a God, and he asked me, what did you get out of? I backed the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. She was fucking amazing. That's it.
I would say I stopped a guy on a motorcycle and told him that his cash was falling out of his backpack.
Not even close. not even close to banging Julie. She was amazing. She was amazing. That's the highlight of my life. That's my major accomplishment. I should have answered that when I went for my campaign interview about running for Congress. What's your greatest accomplishment in life? I should have said, I banged Dallas Cowboy.
You put that in your victory log for like lifetime students.
I'm sorry to interrupt the news, but I got excited there. And that girl in the front there, that redhead, looked a little bit like her. That's why I thought it was.
Okay. Well, this series follows last season from start to finish, starting with the auditions, training camp, and through the entire season. And so if you're interested in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, check it out. It's on Netflix.
I would pay just to sniff the locker room.
I had a friend of mine who was trying to buy one of the bicycle seats that was used in the Queen
dollar sniff.
$1 a sniff. I met two cheerleaders like 10 years ago. So mine's closer than Matt's.
I'm Mo Green. I made my bones while you were still banging cheerleaders. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
Ron is actually knows a Mo Green, not the Mo Green, but a Mo.
Yeah, I know of a Mo Green, if that's the way you want to put it. I worked with Mo, like at Broadway. No, it was at Dangerfields. We were together.
Wow, look at you, Mr. Green knower. Who's that? I can't see him.
That is Michael Richards. He's out. He's out pushing a book right now called Entrances and Exits, and yeah, and he's got an interview out now with Jay Leno, and here's a little bit from it. They're talking about when he flipped out at the Laugh Factory 18 years ago. And Leno is like, I had my own take on that. And if you tell me if this makes any sense, I don't even want to fucking do that voice. It's terrible.
No. He was also last week or the week before, he was on Fox News pushing the book. He was doing interviews with Jesse Waters and Sean Hannity. Apparently, he's made one, like a lot of people, made a hard right turn. But do you recall the Letterman when Jerry Seinfeld was a guest on Letterman and they brought Michael Richards on via like satellite or whatever the fuck it was, but he was doing like a feed thing and the audience was laughing as he was trying to apologize for.
Yeah, and Jerry's like, "No, this is serious.
Please don't laugh. Please don't laugh."
Yeah, his PR people at the time, I hope he fired them because they handled that, like, mishandled it so bad.
And he became short over the. This is weird. Is this picture just like crunched on purpose, distorted on purpose? It looks like
I just stretched it out on purpose.
It looks like he's saying, "Look how big my hand is."
Yeah, you gotta have some fun, don't you?
Is there any redemption for people like the, it's we talk about Louis C.K. before and people not wanting to forgive him. Nobody, I would think, because people loved Michael, the character Kramer. A lot of people loved him, but there is no forgiveness for him.
It is strange. I mean, he's just a comic that had a meltdown on stage. And it's probably because he hadn't been on stage in forever. And he just did like an open micer would do.
Yeah, he was never a comic. And that's the thing. I mean, he might have got through on some stand-up nights, but he was an actor. And I remember do you remember Fridays? He was on the show Fridays, which was ABC's attempt to do a Saturday Night Live thing on Friday.
Right.
And him and Andy Kaufman got into a real fight, and they had to stop the show like 15 minutes early because they got into a fight on stage because they were supposed to be acting stoned, and he had a problem with it, or Andy had a problem with it, and he was like totally into character, and Andy was this is stupid, I'm not acting stoned, and he ended up throwing water on him, chasing him around the set, and they got in a fist fight and all that stuff. People said
who won?
I would think Andy would win that fight. I mean, but
I don't know. All he did was wrestle women.
Yeah. And actually, Michael Richards' probably biggest role is not Seinfeld. It's being in the movie UHF with Weird Al as Stanley Spadowski.
Oh, yeah. Forgot he was in there.
I don't even remember him being in that movie.
Yeah.
When you say biggest role, how do you define it? Because he's definitely most known for Kramer and probably made more money from that than anything else he ever did in his life, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But that role in UHF defined him.
Okay, I never saw that movie. Me.
Oh, it's a classic.
And I don't remember him being in it.
Weird Al, baby.
Yep.
I hated Weird Al.
So what we have here is the very lovely Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin in an upcoming Max series that drops in September. The trailers are out now for it.
His Penguin is great.
Yeah, this is kind of like the middle point between the next Batman movie. They're releasing this because the next Batman movie has been pushed out at least a year at this point, they're saying. So you're going to get some Batman action in the form of Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
So is this the Batman using the guy from the vampire movies?
Yep.
Patton Oswalt, whatever his name was.